I've got Goldie here with me, this little cutie patootie, and she is a 7-month-old Cavapoo. And what I want to talk about in this particular video is teaching her, or teaching any dog, collar pressure. I want to show you how to do this with kind of a young puppy. When working on collar pressure, a couple things that are important to note. First of all is dogs have an instinctual response, or rather an untrained dog has an instinctual response to not want to move with the collar. And what I mean by that is if we pull on the collar, if we apply any pressure on the collar, they have what's called an opposition reflex. And that is that if we pull one way, they will naturally pull the opposing way. And this is also why you find that many people who take a leash and put it around a dog's flat buckle collar, they'll pull on the leash, the dog will pull against that, and then they have to start pulling even longer and longer and harder, and it may turn into either keeping that leash super tight, like this, or doing what's called a leash pop, or even dragging the dog. And these are all the things that we really want to avoid when teaching a young puppy, again, or any dog, to move with the leash and to learn how to walk with us. So there's a ton of equipment out there that can help with loose leash walking. That is not what this video is going to be about today, but it will be about a really simple exercise that you could practice just like this, sitting down. I'm not going to be moving from this spot, but I want to be able to get Goldie moving a bit around me. So she's not going to be taking her cues from my body. Instead, she's going to be trying to take cues from this leash. This is also a technique that we used many years ago when I worked at Guide Dogs for the Blind, and they still have perfected this even today, where they teach this to their puppies that are in the puppy raising program. They have fabulous videos out there on YouTube. If you want to be able to check them out, they are available to everyone of how to teach young puppies to move with the collar. So this is kind of a spin-off of what Guide Dogs for the Blind is already doing. And them being the cream of the crop, I suggest you take some of their advice. All right, so the first thing that we want to do is start off. I am going to be using a clicker here today. Now Goldie's resting here nicely, but I want to find out, do I have treats that are something that she likes? Because we got to give her something to work for. So I'm going to just drop that treat and see if she'll get it and start moving for it and see if she'll start engaging with me. All right. And now I'm kind of warming her up with the clicker, where I'm just tossing the treat and clicking as she moves with it. So this is to warm her up as an invitation to say, do you want to play? There's some goods for you. And I'm clicking movement when she starts moving her body in the direction toward the treat. Good. All right. This particular leash is attached to the front of her harness, and we are using a Freedom No Pull harness. This is one of them that I love. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to apply a little bit of pressure on that collar, click as she moves with it, and then drop the treat. Do that again. And no talking is really necessary during this time, because it'll make it a little bit easier for all of us to concentrate. But you could certainly talk to her and say, good girl, nice job. Now I'm going to switch hands. Lovely. Good. So smart. Okay, right there, she gets a little bit stuck. And notice I'm using 2 fingers here. It's not a big yank, and we can try continual pressure, but you see right there, she is leaning her body. You may not be able to see it at your angle, but she's leaning her body actually away from the harness. Good girl. I gave her a little bit of time, and she decided to move. try that sideways motion again. Nice. Bring her all the way around to my other side. So as we do this, I can actually start to get her to move further and further, meaning take more steps with that leash, okay? So I'm gonna apply pressure and relax it. Oh, good girl. That's what that was beautiful, where it was just a little bit of pressure. And then I relaxed the leash, meaning I bent it. We're gonna try that again. So here's continual pressure sideways. Nice! And then she's following that lead. Well done. Good job, Goldie. Beautiful. And right now, I'm gonna take a break because you see her, she's like, oh, I think I wanna take a break. So I'm gonna let her go wander off and we'll start this again in a moment.